Welcome to the Red Pill Awareness Needed Conversation for Men podcast. I am one of your hosts, Herb, and I'm here with my brother and the other host,
Jason D.
What's up, people? What's going on? We are back with another video. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a reaction to a series of videos that seems to be a bit of a hot topic in the YouTube streets. It's called the Blue I don't know why I can't say that right.
Blue therapy.
There you go, Blue therapy. And it's interesting because these videos are of two couples that are in couples therapy based out of London. And it kind of goes into the things that's going on in their relationships and how they're trying to resolve these problems and stuff like that. And the reason why I thought it was interesting for us to kind of give our reaction is because you see a lot of red pill truths in there as far as how the men are acting, how the women are acting, just how they're navigating in their relationships dealing with these women. And I think it's important for us to go over it because, one, it kind of gives and reveals certain things that we discuss on the channel as far as female nature, but also we have to address the men in this also. Because I think also it's very important that though we talk a lot about women on this channel, I think also from time to time we do need to discuss the behavior of men and how we act and keeping our brothers accountable and just kind of pointing out when certain shit is just fucked up or wrong. You know what I mean? So it's not always about the women up here, but it's also about making us fellas accountable too for our actions and our, how we handle ourselves and stuff. So, anything you want to add, bro, before we get started? Some of this shit's kind of wild to me. You know what I mean? Jay, you've seen, how many episodes you seen?
1.5.
1.5. Okay, yeah. So I've seen all of them. Jay has not. So we know how this goes. I like seeing Jay's reaction to shit when he first sees shit. So without further ado, we're going to get this show on the road, and I'll edit it up accordingly to make sure this episode doesn't turn into like a 2-hour thing. So let's go.
Myself and my boyfriend have been going through a lot lately. This is the last leg for us. We're really, really hanging in our relationship. I've seen an opportunity for a social experiment, and I think that it's best we both come here and get some help.
You made me wanna melt. I've been with my partner for 3 years now. Just like everyone else, we've had our ups and downs, things happen. But coming to therapy with a camera for some social experiment, it's a red flag, to be fair. And now, she knows my perspective on this. I'd prefer we go to a church and we sit down with a pastor in a corner. But, us getting to this extent where we're actually here for a social experiment, it doesn't make sense. I think it's gonna go south. I'm 90% sure, but at the end of the day, I'll just say, look, I told you so.
He's starting off like an idiot.
We 46 seconds in, yo.
If you know that you're going to talk to a therapist and you know it's a social experiment, therefore it's going to be on camera, it's 2021, you signed the release form, you showed up. What are you bitching for? What are you bitching for?
You know what's funny, man?
Like hating football and taking Super Bowl tickets. What the fuck are you doing here?
What's funny is I've been kind of on this sort of reality show kick lately, and I find that a lot of brothers that get on these shows and do these things, they agree to it, but then they get mad because they're on camera. I don't understand. I told you about this show, Married at First Sight. And a couple of seasons, man, the brothers on there, they be coming at the producer's neck, yelling and screaming at because they don't want to be on camera, but you agree to be on camera. I don't get it. I don't get it.
At all times?
Yeah, I don't get it.
He's just starting off.
He's pissed you off already.
I'm not pissed. I don't know this guy. He's just
right.
typical dumbass, man. He's already looking to say I told you so to his girl. These are the dickheads that y'all pick. Let me say it again. These are the dickheads that y'all pick.
Yeah, I was going to address
because
that
if
later.
he is nurturing and he is logical and willing to meet you halfway, a lot of y'all find it attractive. You always go for the dickheads. And then you bitch about said dickhead being a dickhead. And it's not me hating because I'm not hating on nobody that's like that because I wouldn't want to be with you if that's your twist. It's an observation though.
Right.
Y'all choose these disagreeable, muscle-bound fucking morons. And then you want to have an intellectual conversation with her. You want to be understanding and compassionate. No. You wanted your alpha. You got your alpha. You got what you wanted.
And
I can't be delicate with a shotgun. A shotgun is not made for that. Shotgun is made to kill everybody in that fucking corner. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Can you be a sniper with a shotgun? No.
No, not at all.
You in that corner, it's a rat. I just don't understand. I don't understand your logic. I'm not here to bash you about. I don't get your logic. Help me understand.
What you'll find out later on is how much of an alpha this dude is not.
But I'm just saying, initially that bravado is what they seek.
Yeah.
I've heard many times, especially women in Philadelphia, say, I need a dude that's kind of an asshole from the jump. I need a dude that is disagreeable from the jump.
Yep.
Because many of y'all see that persona as toughness or someone that can protect you. More than likely, what y'all forget about that third dude, he doesn't live very long. Because where I'm from and where he's from, that you don't last long doing that.
And not only that,
you don't last long doing that.
What tends to happen is these guys really don't have a clue on how to treat a woman in the long run anyway. That usually is the case, I don't know. But yeah, you'll see a lot more as it goes on. Go ahead and hit play, bro.
My name's Denise and I'm your therapist today. Have you ever been to therapy before?
Never. We've never been. I did go online. I read how important it is about, having premarital therapy, counselling, and I do believe myself and Paul are in dire need of some help. I wouldn't say we've deteriorated to a point of no return, but at the end of the day, we're progressing in our relationship, and I'm not entirely happy.
Okay. So, Paul, thank you for joining us. Have you got any idea of what expectations you are looking to get out of this therapy session?
I have no idea. I'm curious to find out.
Okay, that's great. Well, it's great that you're here. So, shall we start?
So, of course, this isn't my first time on camera. I'm very comfortable in front of a camera. I understand Paul isn't. I didn't bring him here to embarrass him, though. This is kind of like shock therapy. It might shock him into kind of seeing that we need help, that we've actually got problems within our relationship.
I'm going to ask Shoma to just start us off. What would you like to start off with? I love you. You do know that, right? And I feel as though we've got different views of life. So to me, Paul is very image. He puts too much emphasis on how people perceive us as a couple, how he's perceived as an individual and how I'm perceived as an individual. Currently in our relationship, we're doing a lot of patching instead of really fixing the issues. Okay, Paul, do you feel the same way?
I'm literally blown away. I haven't even heard this before. Do you want to give more context to what you're actually saying? Because I'm a tiny bit confused.
Paul, for example, has a lot of friends. He has affluent friends. He feels like he has to fit in, which he might fit in as friendship, but when it comes to finances, he doesn't necessarily fit in. So if we're looking at percentage-wise and when they go out and what they spend, they can afford it. We can't. But Paul will do it anyway. And then he'll spend the next week or two chasing the bag he's blown, which now leaves me in a deficit of love. So there's neglect going on in our household.
All right, so we literally just got here. We haven't been here for 5 minutes. Choma's talking about finance to the bloody Denise, someone that we don't even know. Now, first of all, there is no man that's out there with multiple accounts, crypto accounts, high interest accounts, that's gonna sit down and show his girl his balance. So she doesn't even know the financial situation first.
But the fact that comment bothered you, bro, you're already kind of snitching on yourself.
So here's the first thing that really boggles my brain, okay? Everything she said was kind of legit and as a legit complaint. Mm-hmm. Surprisingly enough, that was basically he's trying to represent himself to be something that he's not.
Fake it till you make it.
Right, and he's doing that at the expense of their finances. And even though, yeah, he's all like, well, no man, should tell his woman completely all his finance, stuff like that. At the end of the day, you're trying to present yourself in a way that you're not. And it's affecting your relationship. Bottom line. Because you're so concerned and so worried about what everybody else is doing, trying to match up to I guess, whoever image you're trying to meet towards the people that you're with. Fellas, don't do that. Just don't do that. Like, be true to yourself. Be true to who you and be true to who you deal with. And clearly, and the fact that he got so offended, his facial expression from the door was like, what? You know what I mean? Lets you know that you don't want to walk around like that. He's not confident who he is as himself. You know, he on some other shit.
He's not offended because she said it. He's offended because she said it and it's true.
True. How about it?
Because for them to have to go to a separate cut on these little reality TV shows and you play, they had little confessions in between scenes, that's when you get kicked in the balls. You don't go to the little confession and say, I really like pizza. It never happens. You do that when something hurts you or shocks you or makes you happy. So in this case, that comment kind of hurt. She's around you all the time, man. Even though she know you faking, or as we always say, we know you fronting. She's still on your team. You don't even see that. You know how hard that is to find? But I digress.
Yeah. We can continue.
So hang on, let me just let Paul speak regarding the image and the going out and chasing the bag, as Shoma just said.
You know what's interesting? I actually think she's right. But let me break it down for you. I'm happy and I'm humble enough to be the brokest man in a room full of millionaires. Do you know why?
Okay.
Do you know who would have the most to benefit in that type of situation?
You would.
So that's practically how I've been able to exponentially grow my income, basically.
He's taken the whole fake it till you make it to another extent, because at the end of the day, I'm not naive to know that you are treated how you're perceived. However, be yourself. With the whole spending above your means, should I say, yes, we can afford it. I'm not saying we can't, because he's the first person to speak about finances and we need to save and we need to do this and we need to do that. But as much as, I purchase nice things, Paul does a lot of the spending. And in the past, we've had situations where he's invested and there's been no returns. So I don't feel like I need to suffer at the expense of his investing and putting himself in positions to get deals when not all the time it works out. And we're together. Do you know what I mean? We're in a relationship. We're not business partners. So I'm suffering for nothing.
Okay. Do you feel that it's an equal situation?
She just said she's suffering for nothing. Okay. So am I nothing?
That's not what I said. It's like your comprehension. This is why we're here, because anytime I bring up at home, he dismisses it.
Really?
Okay, you're not comprehending what I'm saying.
Okay.
I've literally just explained it.
Yeah. Okay, look.
Out of everything I said, you got that bit. Like, Paul's, he takes what he wants to take, he hears what he wants to hear, and he sees what he wants to see.
Yo, this dude's a girl.
Listen.
It's
not even a man-woman thing. It really isn't. It really isn't.
He's a child.
Because I go through this.
Yeah, you're right.
I go through this constantly when I'm dating someone, or constantly when I'm talking to someone in business. I can mention points that are relevant to us as either being a couple or business. I try to be clear and concise when I discuss these points with you, so I'm not insulting your intelligence. I'm laying it out clear and concise. I'll name 9 points, and the only one you'll pull out is the one you either don't like in business or the one that offends you in personal life. That is infuriating to someone, because what she is saying, she made a lot of valid points. Yeah. But because he doesn't like that, he doesn't want to hear that. He doesn't want to hear from her or the therapist, because his ego is out of control.
Listen, I'm going to say this, and I might offend a few people, but I'm not trying to, but it's the fucking truth, which is that those particular characteristics happen more often in women than it does to men. I'm not saying men don't do it.
Clearly.
As you can see. However, the way that he's deflecting and not listening and really trying to turn it as him being a victim, I'm sorry. You see this more often with women that don't like to take accountability than with men. But when we see men do it, it's a whole lot worse. It's a whole lot worse because he's being irresponsible and just not giving a fuck about his choices that he's making and how it's affecting the significant other. He don't care. It's like he's making excuses. So, and then the fact that she said what she said is like, oh, so I'm not nothing. Bro, there's nothing in what she said
At all.
that made you come to that conclusion legitimately. Nothing. Seriously. Like, I can't stand it when people do that. Like, just listen and comprehend what the person is actually saying.
Absolutely.
Just, no.
The only thing is, let me give you an example, right? So literally, I have access to a good number of private members clubs. This is through the clients of mine. I train high net worth individuals, celebrities, you name it. Now, with these membership clubs, obviously it's not everyone that's, invited. And I feel like that kind of affects trauma. Whereas before, if we were going to like a normal type of, average, maybe not average Joe, but the usual, then I'll kind of be, oh babe, come along. But when I'm actually, grafting and chasing the bag, as she said, I don't really feel like she needs to be present, and she actually doesn't have an invite anyway, so.
Okay, that's not what I'm not upset that I'm not able to come to the events that you go to and to the gambling places, because it's gambling if you ask me. It's casino, isn't it? So the clubs you guys are going to and the money you're spending, some of it is gambling, all right? Because everything he likes to say is constructive. Clubbing is not constructive. It's not beneficial to our relationship or to him. Even places like that, he places too much emphasis on how they look at him. So you're out here doing the most, buying so many bottles, paying 10K for tables, and it doesn't make sense. And I'm at home being neglected. When he comes home, he goes back to work. So my point is, you're putting too much emphasis on the way they see you. Why is that? You're supposed to be impressing me, not them.
So the type of people that I deal with, they're on another level, to be fair. They're high net worth and they work really hard for themselves. Now, for me to be able to kind of be that act of service for them, you can imagine how hard I have to work. If they're calling you, you need to answer. If they're sending you a message, whether it's a text or WhatsApp, listen, you need to be on point. I'm able to give them that service.
All right, so before they transition into the other couple that's in the therapy, I kind of want to kind of recap a bit from what we've seen so far. And to me, what I'm seeing is that you have a brother that's trying really hard to be something that he really isn't. And then he's expecting his girlfriend to now basically go along with it, even though it's borderline disrespectful to her in a relationship. And the thing with this is, for one, for the ladies that do watch this, point blank, avoid these type of dudes. I'm going to be keeping 100 with you. Avoid these type of dudes. Because at the end of the day, he's really about himself. He refuses to listen to anything that she's saying. And she has legit issues and complaints, which, I'll be honest, that doesn't happen all the time.
No.
I'll be honest.
It doesn't.
Like this thing she's saying is very legit.
I think she generally cares about him. I think she generally wants him to win, but he's not understanding that the time that you're over investing time in your gig, and it's taken away from quality time with your chick that's actually on your team, that's actually willing to look past your narcissism, look past your insecurities, look past the way you front all the time, and still be on your team.
And fellas, I'm going to say this. I feel like when it comes to him, if that's going to be your mindset, you don't need to be in a relationship. I'm not saying that he shouldn't act that way, period. If he's that focused and that driven on what he wants to do with his career and with his finances, you don't need to be in a relationship. Seriously, you don't. Because there's not going to be any room for it. You know what I mean? And when you are, you can't be in it and act like a complete narcissist and act like everything should be about you. There's certain things that you're going to demand from her, but she's going to demand from you.
Right.
That's just the reality of the situation. And you can't completely ignore it. Yes, you're supposed to have certain requirements and standards, and you're supposed to run your household and run your relationship a certain way. However, you can't sit there and say, I expect my woman to be at home and not be in the clubs and shit like that, but then spending 10K on bottles for clients. And you'll hear more about it as it progresses in the episode.
10K on bottles for clients, and you got to spend the rest of the month trying to earn that 10K back.
Nah, bro. You can't.
I wish I would. I wish I would have a bar tab more than $200.
Yeah, you can't.
I've never spent that more than that at a bar before. Never. And had a great time. You can have your champagne and your Henny and all that stuff with a fucking sparkling and having some bad bro bring it down to you. For what?
For what? For what?
Just for the record, how would you like him to change?
At the end of the day, I like his drive, and that's kind of why we're together. My point is, there needs to be a balance. I'm happy for you to grind. I'm happy for you to do all the things you do. But again, we're in a relationship. The problem with you is you think we're business partners. We're not. I need love as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got a business, I work, but I still feed you, I still love on you, but I don't get, it's not reciprocated.
Right, so hang on, Paul, do you feel that you're giving as good as you get in the love stakes?
Well, to be fair, I thought I did, but now I'm thinking to myself, like, does she trust, do you trust me?
What?
This is typical narcissist behavior. This is not the first time she's brought issues with the relationship up. It's not. It's not. It takes a long time to get to the therapy stage. Trust me, I know. So for you to act like on the therapist, on the experiment where the cameras, you weren't aware they're going to be there, you weren't aware there was going to be a stranger that's, trained in the science of the mind was going to be there. For you to first oh, I've never heard these things. What other issues do you have with me? Come on, fam. You know how you making yourself look for real?
The biggest issue I have so far with this dude, Paul, and I don't like this fucker. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I don't like him.
He's a cranky little fucker.
Right, yeah.
See, we start talking like you on there. He's a cranky little fucker.
The issue is that he deflects so terribly.
Oh my gosh.
It makes things horrible. Like, she never said anything in her statement about trust. She's not at no point so far as this point did she say anything about I don't trust him. She said he doesn't listen. There needs to be a balance of his behavior.
No reciprocation.
They're right. There needs to be things of that nature. She's never once said anything about I don't trust him. But yet that's what he surmises and came up with the last response that she said, which is basically he was like, you don't trust me. There's nothing in her communication that suggested anything about lack of trust.
Right, we're both sitting here paying attention, just like you in our audience, paying attention. We did not hear one mention of mistrust towards her. But when you're dealing with a narcissist and someone that is deflecting and, as Herb said, horrible at it, they take everything you said and they input it in their brain, and their defense mechanism because she doesn't trust me. Well, I guess what I'm doing ain't good enough. Well, I guess you're not grateful. And you have said nothing of the sort. Please comment below if that gets on your nerves. That gets on my damn nerves.
Yeah.
I said the fire is hot and the water is cold. I ain't saying about no damn steaks, no cheese doodles. What are you talking about? Stick to the subject at hand. Address the issues that we have. Oh my gosh. Like, if you know in your heart you're like this, you need to adjust that. And that goes to our male and female viewers. Yo, you're driving people in your life and in your business crazy. Listen, comprehend, and then respond.
And listen, it bothers me even more because this dude has no reason to do what he's doing. He has none. Like, there's no, up to what I can hear, there's nothing that is causing him to act the way he's acting. And listen, I'll be the first to defend my fellas in a heartbeat because we don't get defended enough. But this shit is undefensible at this point. It is. This behavior is undefensible. And fellas, listen, to everybody on this channel that follows this channel, please understand this is not how you carry yourself as a man at all. You do not carry yourself as a man this way. It's just not. There's no reason or excuse for that shit. So we want to continue.
Right.
Yes or no?
I do trust you.
Okay. If you trust me and you trust my judgment and you know that between the both of us, we both got ourselves to the position where we are, which is a better position than we were in, why would you not continue to trust the process?
Because you've eradicated the whole love aspect of our relationship. I'm a woman. I'm not wood. Do you understand? Like, I've got a heart.
Now, this is the problem that I have with women, right? Like, for example, with Choma and I, when we first started, she knows I'm hardworking. I was doing X, Y, Z, what I had to do, okay? Everything was fine. She was happy I've got a hardworking guy, okay, hug, kiss, okay, cool. Nowadays, when I'm coming back late, the same person's complaining, asking me where am I coming from? And I'm thinking, what? fair enough, I don't work overtime and I'm doing other things on a different level, but I'm the same person, so why would you question it?
Always bragging. Always with the bragging. Always.
And on
another level. These individuals, not like where regular people go. You're always bragging. I cannot stand assholes like that.
Mm-hmm. And
I was in the room, my bad. I was in the room full of millionaires. Did I come back on some bragging shit? When everybody in that room net worth was probably 90,000 times more than mine? No.
And he's bringing up something that we've addressed in the show before, which is the fact that us as men, it's very imperative that you focus on yourself before you get to the point of focus on a relationship. Right. Because everything that he's saying is the fact that, yeah, he was on his grind doing his thing. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, let's be real here. Most women are going to want a certain level of attention from you. They're going to want a certain level of time from you. And it just depends on how realistic that woman is when it comes to that expectation. But that expectation is going to be there. And if you're not prepared to deal with that expectation, don't get in a relationship. If you're that focused on your grind and you're focused on your success, which you should be, as a man, you should be.
I'm not mad that he's hustling. I'm not mad that he's working overtime. I'm not mad. I'm mad at him acting like what, like you said, you have to maintain a certain level of attention with your girl.
Yeah, period.
And balance your grind. That's the way it is. If not, then just be in them streets, doing what you do.
Right. I mean, that's why in most of the Red Pill community, they tell you, like, you really don't want to be, like, until your kingdom is built, you got your shit together, you're not going to have time for that. So you got to be realistic and honest about it. You know what I mean? You can't sit there and be like, okay, all of a sudden you're going to be one way, but because you're on your grind, you're just going to stop doing what you're doing and expect her to be like, okay, I understand. That's not women's nature, man.
Women like consistency.
Yeah. This is
if
what
you
it
hear
is.
that, comment below.
Right.
That's the number one thing I hear from my female homies and from women that I've dated, that y'all like consistency. We do too, by the way. But if you're not going to provide that, like Herb said, you don't need to be in a relationship dynamic. You don't need it.
Like I really think he just needed to be by himself personally. But we're going to continue because there's more to it.
Can I just ask, what's the last loving thing you did for
Denise?
Yeah, Denise.
Look, we're not going to play the whole turn each other against each other. When's the last time you bought flowers? Look, forget about all of that. Let's get down to what it is now. Just to briefly go over this, right? As far as...
So your girl, this is the kind of, I can't stress this enough. These are the motherfuckers y'all pick. So your girl has y'all come to therapy and she's voicing her opinion of where y'all are at. You have a qualified professional analyzing it who hasn't even really done any analyzing it. She's just listening and taking it all in yet before she starts divvying out what you guys should or shouldn't do. And in your little man world, in your little dick energy world, you automatically get defensive. You feel like the therapist who's been as neutral as a United Nations soldier on the blue tank is turning y'all against each other. She ain't said nothing. What did the therapist say during this thing that felt like she was taking the chick's side?
She asked the question.
She asked the question.
That was it.
Y'all, these the boys y'all pick. This me and my man. We come back all the time on this show. These are the motherfuckers y'all pick.
And this is what I'm going to say. The fellas that follow this channel, please don't act like this. Please don't. It makes you look like less than a man. I ain't going to hold you. I look at this dude.
He's acting like a bitch.
And I hear that's exactly what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. Because, and you know why he deflected that question the way he did? Because he didn't have an answer. He didn't have an answer. And just be real about your shit. That's my whole thing. If you're an ass, we said this before, you're going to be an asshole, own that shit.
Own it.
Be a complete asshole.
And the most intelligent thing you can do when someone asks you a question for which you are not informed is to say, you know what? I really don't know. I've never given it that much thought. Look, everything on your body will still work. You can say that shit. Nothing will shrink. Nothing. You'll still be a man. Yeah, this dude. Because the most intelligent people on the planet, my man will back me up, learn by asking questions about shit they don't know about, including themselves. Remember that, men out there. It's okay to say you don't know, even if it's something about yourself, even if it's something about how you don't know how to put into words how you're feeling. That's perfectly fine. But this shit right here, no, don't do that. Yeah. That's bitch made right there.
All right, we're going to continue.
I understand you've been called or employed rather, to basically help us in our relationship to get better, right? Okay. So how do you think you're doing so far?
Okay, first, don't be rude.
It's a genuine question.
That's uncalled for.
It's a genuine question.
Wow.
So now he's attacking the therapist.
Wow.
Now we're see. This,
I'm not gonna say it again. I said what I said.
This some bitch shit. I'm sorry. Like, please.
He said it. I wasn't gonna say it again.
No, listen, fellas. Do not do this. I'm gonna say this one last time. I'm not gonna say it again. At least for this episode. Do not do this.
We're just gonna keep bringing it up in text over the video. We don't keep saying it.
Oh yeah, type in bitch move.
Yeah.
Just bitch move. Yeah.
We need a buzzer for that.
Yeah. But I'm just
Like a men on film repeat. I don't know, something. Because wow.
Yeah, please don't.
We cannot demand feminine energy from our women if we keep exuding feminine behavior.
Yes, God, yes.
Should I say it again? We cannot expect feminine energy from our women, which is few and far between now. It needs to be said. If we exude feminine behavior on a reaction to a question. To a question. She didn't come at your neck. She didn't question your manhood. All she did was ask you a question about you. And you acting like a real bitch right now, fam. For real.
Yeah.
I've been where he's been at, where I was defensive on anything and everything I had to hear from my significant other. So women I've dated can vouch for that. But I eventually learned not to do that shit. Because it don't get you nowhere. It doesn't solve the problem.
It just makes you look like less of a man.
Right.
For real. And that's how this dude is looking right now. Like and listen, let's keep it a beat. His chick is bad as shit. She bad.
Yeah, when y'all see this, listen.
She bad.
She's what we would call in Philadelphia. She's a problem.
Yeah, and
it's not that her looks are bad. I'm a photographer. I've seen probably thousands of badass women. It is what it is. It's the fact that she has heart and that she's actually willing to ride with you. That is more attractive than anything you could present to me physically when you come in the room.
Because fellas,
and she knows who she is, and she's generally on his team, even though this dude is an asshole.
And fellas, I want y'all to keep in mind, I want y'all to pay attention to the contrast between the woman in the first scenario, in the first couple, and the woman in this one, versus the one that's the other one. And
night and day.
You'll see the difference. You'll understand what we're talking about. So it's ridiculous. It's appalling to see this shit. To be honest with you, it's appalling to see this man's behavior as a man. And like I said in this show before, we don't just come at women. We come at men too.
No.
We're saying men should act a certain way, just like women should act a certain way. And this man is just acting like he's acting way too feminine, as Jay put it. And this shit's ridiculous. We're moving on.
Okay, I can answer that, Shema, don't worry. The fact is that I'm here to enable you to see through the fog that may be there at the moment. I'm not here to give you an answer. I'm just helping you discover what's going on.
Okay. What's your success rate in terms of like couples that have been to your therapy sessions and have gone on to get married?
Well, I think you've already done your research.
I did research and I found out that a lot of people gave you good reviews. A lot of them have actually gone on to get married. A lot of them have resolved their situation. Be open-minded. I feel like people get results from you if they're open-minded.
Babe, she didn't answer the question. What's your success rate? I need percentages. I deal with figures.
I'm afraid I don't work in figures. I work in people, and when people come back, it's because they're seeing results.
Fam, did he snap at her?
He did.
And when
like she can just. Back, it's because. So at one point he's snapping at her. Like she can run down figures if her success rate is a therapist, as if she works at a McDonald's and can run down how many Big Macs they sold last year. Do you know how therapy works, bro?
No.
Some issues you never actually fix. You just learn to deal with them in a better way. So because you learn to deal with them in a better way, doesn't mean it's a failure, because you can't always cure every part of the brain that has issues. But you learn how to compartmentalize and deal with that and continue with your everyday life. And that's one of the benefits of therapy. That pain and that trauma is still there. Seeing somebody get killed in front of you doesn't go away because you went to therapy. You just learn how to deal with it,
Right.
so that part of your brain and that trauma is now implemented in who you are, but it's not going to defeat you. That is the purpose of therapy, if I'm not correct, right?
Yeah,
it's not like when a faucet leaks, you come with some tape and some welding torches, fix it, it ain't leaking no more, now you good. That's not how it, wow.
Yeah, and I
Wow,
think
you snapping like she's
and
serving
to
burgers.
me, the level of disrespect that
It's
he has
incredible.
is ridiculous because of the fact that it's all about deflecting. It's
Right.
all about just not addressing the fact that you're an asshole.
Right,
Like,
and back me
it's
up on this,
just-
man.
it's just you're an asshole.
Anyone that, this is for both our male and female viewers, anyone that comes at your neck suddenly, when you're having an intelligent discussion, in any situation, and they immediately get both defensive and personal, that's on them. Especially when it's unprovoked. When you attack someone unprovoked, that is on you. 100% on you.
Indeed. I mean, it's just oh God, just fellas, don't do this. That's all I can say.
Women don't do it either.
I expect this behavior to some degree from women to some degree.
But that don't mean they should do it.
Yeah,
I get your expectations.
Yeah, just.
But I'm telling you,
This is
you
fucking
women,
ridiculous.
chicks out there, whatever, don't do this.
Yeah, the best way you put it was the level of feminine energy is ridiculous. So we're gonna continue.
So as far as I'm concerned, things are working.
So if we came back to
Enough
your
of that,
session,
because
that means
you're
it's
just-
working.
Well, you sign up for a certain number of sessions, and then we discuss whether you need to
Oh,
do.
so there's more than one.
You ever notice that someone, we've bonded audience, we're friends now. You ever notice someone that always boasts about their intelligence and their quick thinking is almost always 100% USDA full of shit? Is the camera giving me? Have you ever noticed that about people? So you came in on this bravado that you're intelligent, you're a money maker, you're a mover in the shit, you deal with a high clientele, and you don't remember signing up for several sessions. You don't remember signing a release form for this film show. You don't remember your girl telling you that she's a qualified professional with a high success rate. You don't remember none of that because everything is exposing how insecure you are. So now you're lashing out like a 4-year-old, man. This dude is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, yeah, I can't, man.
And I hope this gets back to you and you see it. I don't mind you coming back at me, Paul. You're a fucking idiot. I don't give a fuck. You are an idiot. Oh, wait, so there's more of them.
He said, "I'm
You give a fuck about you
I'll
coming back.
see you,
Yo, for
Paul.
real, I
I'll
don't
see
care.
you,
I
Paul.
see you, fam.
Paul kind of big though, bro.
I don't give a fuck. I don't. Size don't mean fighting ability.
Don't worry, bro. I got
And
you.
I got something in the back that'll cure all that shit.
I got
Paul.
you.
Fuck how big a motherfucker is. You know, I don't give a fuck.
All right. Let me give you.
Moving on.
Me and Jamal argue all the time about his phone and social media. He's literally in love with social media. There's this new app called Clubhouse. I don't know if you've heard about it. This guy loves the app so much. I actually wish the app was not invented. I would call Jamal after a long day and we haven't spoken for a whole day, and he has Clubhouse in the background. Like, he'd literally call me on his MacBook so that he can have Clubhouse in the background, and then we'll have a separate conversation. Like, that's just too much.
How does that make you feel when you've got Clubhouse going and you're on the phone as well?
I mean, if I haven't spoken to you all day, like, am I not important? Like, you know that I go bed early, so I'm literally gonna take 20 minutes of your time. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. But he has to have Clubhouse in the background. He has to be on stage. Everyone has to hear Jamel's voice. Like, it's really not that deep. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's that he's craving female attention. Am I not giving him enough attention? This guy always wants to be on stage. What are you chasing? What are you looking for? I don't understand.
It's really not that deep, to be fair, the way she's making it. To be fair, I would describe Clubhouse as like a podcast, really and truly. So I just listen to it as like background noise.
No, you don't. You're always on stage and you always have to make one comment or another.
I'm on stage, but it doesn't mean I'm always commenting.
Regardless of the fact
Is
he doesn't
Clubhouse
listen to me.
important in your life?
Not more than Deborah.
No, I don't agree. Please answer that question honestly, please.
I said it.
So Clubhouse is less important than me?
No, you are more important than Clubhouse. That's facts.
I don't really agree, but that's fine.
Wait, before you go into what you're about to say, tell Tell the audience what you call her, man.
I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Okay, audience. I feel like she looks like Tommy Davidson with a wig on. I don't know. See why I don't really I don't really say what's on my mind like I used to when I was like 20-something years old. I keep it in here because I can be very.
God.
Okay, we're just gonna move on.
No, not yet. No, not
Okay.
yet. For those audience members that might be young and don't know who Tommy Davis is, right? What's the comedy show that we like so much?
The Shaquille O'Neal All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, look that up.
It's a very funny.
Look that up.
comedy
Your
special.
part, you can find that part, his part on YouTube. Look at it.
Tommy Davidson he's much more than that. Tommy Davidson has been known for his movie
Well,
roles.
I know that, but that shit's
and
funny.
most important of all, his reoccurring roles on the show In Living Color. He's one of the most successful comedians ever that has never been truly mainstream. But he is absolutely 100% a comedy legend.
Yes.
And I feel like this young lady looks exactly like him with a really, really good wig on. So, and I know that's really messed up, and I don't usually comment the guests that we review like this, but I can't unsee it. I'm sorry. So, there's that.
Okay.
Herb thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah,
He does.
that's why we had to share. So anyway,
Yeah.
let me get back to the serious mode here.
But I said, man, you'll
Yo.
get that part when you see the show, the All-Star Weekend.
Drink, don't drink. Don't drink. That's all right.
Okay,
All right.
let's
all
get
right.
back.
So-
Let's
so-
get back on.
Yes, let's get
You
back
had
in.
something to say. Go ahead, man.
All right, so I paused this because I think it was kind of funny and ironic that their issue is Clubhouse. This is first and foremost. We just did a show on that not too long ago. Their issue is Clubhouse, and so
It is to in her defense, even though I think she's already spoke. I've only seen 6 minutes, maybe 3 minutes of her talking. Clubhouse can be very addictive because, like you said, there's an audience and a stage, and you instantly become when you're on stage and you're speaking, everyone listens to you, and you can mute your audience. So it can be an ego trip, like any form of social media. But I think Clubhouse is can be even more toxic because you can definitely make yourself the center of attention.
okay.
And you can either choose to have people speak or choose to not have them speak and throw them right back in the audience, but they can't say anything. So I can tell it could be a bit addictive and egotistical, but I also have seen it benefit people in the long run too. There are some good discussions on Clubhouse, but I usually do it in doses because the majority of it is trash. This is my opinion.
Okay. All right.
So she does have a valid point. If he's doing it too much, especially if you calling your chick, which I would never do, and having Clubhouse in the background, you a little out of pocket with that, fam. You a lot. You already know how she is. You already know she's a little spoiled from the initial interaction that we're hearing right here on the video. So you know she's not gonna like that. I try to not do what pisses the girl I'm with off when I'm with her.
I don't. The main reason why I pause is because I think this is a very teachable thing, in that I think fellas and women, I think very early on in your relationship, you need to set parameters for social media, because what I've run across is that you have a lot of women and some dudes too that really live off of social media.
Yes.
They really do. And the one thing that I am not a fan of is a woman that's really heavy into social media. Unless it's for business purposes, you making money from it or whatever case may be. The moment I see that you're an attention whore when it comes to social media, I'm going to dead it right then and there. And me personally, I let it be known when I see it's an issue that, listen, I'm going to deal with you. However, if I see that social media is important to you, or you love attention
That much,
then you got a decision you got to make. Because you're not going to be with me and fuck with me and then continue to act that way. I'm not heavy on social media like that. I'm wanting to really keep in touch with people that I might not talk to on a regular basis.
right? I'm there to inform. I'm there to be funny.
Right. Right.
Share the photography, share the video stuff, promote myself as an
Absolutely.
artist, connect with other creatives. But that's it. Like, if he doesn't like my picture, I'm not going to not be his homie no more. I've known this guy since 1990. He would look at me like, are you high?
Right.
Is that what's going on? Like, did you do a couple bumps when you came here? But I've been with people who I've known for long periods of time who actually got upset with me for not liking something or not commenting on something that I just didn't see, and they really felt some kind of way. Some of them were men too. I'm like, fam, I've known you since like the 5th grade. Really?
Yeah. Like
Seriously?
when it comes to this, I think women, especially men, You need to set a certain standard, a certain criteria when it comes to that. Say, listen, you have a choice. I'm not going to tell you what you can do, but if you're going to date me, I don't date. And this is, fellas, this is very important in how I'm wording this, because what's going to happen is, if you word it wrong, it's going to come off like an ultimatum. Mm-hmm. No, you need to word it in a very specific way. Say, hey, listen, I don't date women or men that does this with social media.
Right.
If you can date me, but if you choose to continue to do X, Y, and Z on social media, then we're not going to work. You know what I mean? And it's very important, because a lot of times when people are so heavy into it, they don't like it, or they don't like being presented with a choice, that choice turns into an ultimatum. And they'll try and throw it in your face as if it's an ultimatum. No, it's a choice. You can choose to continue to do what you want to do, but understand that choice has a consequence. That choice has a result. And that result might not be what you like, versus you thinking, I'm just going to go along with what you're doing.
Right.
So I emphasize very early on, set parameters in your relationship when it comes to, social media and contact on social media, all that stuff. It's very important, because if you don't, and then you choose to get into a relationship with somebody, in a sense, you're saying it's okay. That behavior is okay to continue to do, because you allowed it in the beginning. Mm-hmm. You can't wait 3-4 months down the line and say, hey, you're I don't like you on social media. I don't like all these likes and these guys and all the posters you pick.
That's another thing.
You don't pick those.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like if she's an exotic dancer, a stripper, or whatever, and you met her like that, but you've always had a problem with someone that's in that profession, it's going to be an issue.
You got no business.
If she has an OnlyFans account, if she has a Patreon account, if she has anything that generates money that's provocative, you have an issue with, and you don't establish that from the door, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
If she needs constant validation from TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and whatever else they got that I don't know about because I'm fucking old, it's going to be a problem. And you probably shouldn't be dating her from the jump. But you're probably so fixated on the yeeks, you're trying to bypass that. When you go from, just being a yeeks to a relationship, now you got to deal with her as a person.
Yep.
And if you can't tolerate that behavior, it's going to be a problem.
And with this particular situation, and I'm going to be like, again, I've seen all of these. Jay hasn't, so I'm not going to spoil it. But it's a problem. It's a problem. And there's certain aspects of it that should have been addressed a long time ago to avoid this problem. For that, we're going to stop it here. We'll get to the other video as soon as we can. Try and shoot it and get it done.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that shit, because this shit's... Tommy Davis and talking about get on there.
End the show, man. I gotta go.
All right, like, share, subscribe, leave the comments. We will do the other shows ASAP as soon as we can. On that note, we're gonna go to the next level and be out.